Welcome back to USA News, your go-to source for the biggest stories and breaking updates from across the United States. If you want to stay ahead of the news, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Let's dive straight into today's top story. UFC Vegas 119. A decade-long rivalry returns as Manel Kape and Kyoji Horiguchi collide again. Just days after the unforgettable spectacle of UFC Freedom 250 on the White House South Lawn, the UFC returns to the much smaller stage of the Apex in Las Vegas. And while the venue may not carry the same historic atmosphere, the main event has all the ingredients of a fight fan's dream. Nearly 10 years after their first meeting, Manel Kape and Kyoji Horiguchi are set to run it back in one of the most intriguing flyweight matchups of the year. For hardcore MMA fans, this isn't just another fight. It's unfinished business. Back in 2017, the two warriors met in Japan during the RIZIN Bantamweight Grand Prix. At the time, Horiguchi was already building his reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters outside the UFC. Kape was a talented prospect looking to prove he belonged among the elite. That night belonged to Horiguchi. A perfectly timed right hand dropped Kape early and immediately shifted the momentum. Horiguchi controlled the action before eventually securing a third-round arm triangle choke submission. He then went on to win the entire tournament, cementing his status as a global MMA star. But both men are dramatically different fighters today. Manel Kape has transformed into one of the most explosive and entertaining athletes in the UFC flyweight division. Known for his speed, knockout power, confidence, and unpredictable striking, Kape has become a must-watch fighter every time he enters the octagon. Meanwhile, Kyoji Horiguchi continues to build one of the most respected resumes in combat sports. The former RIZIN champion and Bellator title holder has consistently competed against the world's best fighters for over a decade. Remarkably, in his flyweight career, Horiguchi has suffered only one loss against a flyweight opponent, former UFC champion Demetrius Johnson. That statistic alone speaks volumes. Now fighting at flyweight rather than bantamweight, Kape may finally have some physical advantages he didn't possess during their first encounter. His strength and size could play a major role if he chooses to mix wrestling into his attack. But Horiguchi's greatest weapons have never been his size. They've always been his precision, timing, speed, and championship-level experience. Fans and analysts are split heading into this highly anticipated rematch. Some believe Kape's recent momentum and evolution make him the favorite. Others see Horiguchi's consistency, experience, and proven track record as impossible to ignore. Across social media, excitement continues to build as longtime MMA followers revisit highlights from their first battle and debate how this rematch will unfold. For many fans, this fight feels like a passing of the torch moment. For others, it's the final chapter in a rivalry that began nearly a decade ago. And perhaps most importantly, the winner could find themselves one step closer to a UFC flyweight title shot. At 35 years old, Horiguchi is proving that age is no longer a barrier in today's UFC landscape, where veteran champions continue to defy expectations. For Kape, this is an opportunity for redemption. For Horiguchi, it's a chance to remind the world exactly why he remains one of the greatest lighter weight fighters of his generation. When the cage door closes at UFC Vegas 119, history won't matter. The first fight won't matter. Only this moment will. And for fight fans around the world, it's a rematch worth waiting nearly 10 years to see. Who do you think wins this long-awaited showdown, Manel Kape or Kyoji Horiguchi? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more UFC and MMA coverage.